if you're going to do screening with kids, you're going to have to consider a number of things. What does the instrument actually measure? How many folks do assessments here with kids? Have you ever administered a test that has a certain name, but then when you look at it, for example, there's a test out there that's nationally known, and it's a test of arithmetic. But you provide the arithmetic, they have to do mental arithmetic, and you provide the items verbally, and the person responds. Well, what do you think happens when you do a factor analysis with that test to find out what it's really measuring? What do you think it's really measuring?
Auditory processing.
Yeah, short-term memory. It's not measuring, it doesn't load with math. It's measuring short-term memory. So when you're going to do assessments, you have to make sure that they're really measuring what it is you're looking for. I don't know what it's like up here, but I get probably 2 or 3 catalogs at my office every day from test publishers, selling everything. So we have to be really good consumers. So whoever's going to be kind of leading this up, or if you decide to go down this road, take a peek at what we're actually doing. Is the measure reliable and valid? There are some measures out there that the reliability is so low you might as well flip a coin and administer it. So is it a good measure? Does it have predictive validity? And the whole notion that by giving this test and you score poorly, do I have a high level of certainty that whatever it is I'm measuring, you're going to do poorly on later? So, for example, reading fluency, we're going to talk quite a bit about. That has huge predictive validity for overall reading performance. If you have poor reading fluency, you're going to have poor vocabulary, poor decoding, poor all sorts of things going on. Cut points. What demarcates, what was part of your question, what demarcates risk kids from non-risk kids? Depending on what your cut point is, half your school could end up being at risk. So is it going to be the lowest 20%, the lowest 15%? How are you going to determine that? There's a number of ways you could just say to yourself, we're going to deal with the lowest 20%. You could look at norms. Sometimes the tests will tell you anyone who falls in this area is someone that should be considered at risk. And do you have standards? I didn't mean it that way. So in Vermont, for example, the state has published competencies. So, for example, you can go to the state website and it tells you how many words per minute a first grader should be reading, a second grader, a third grader. So you might be able to use those standards. You might use those to determine who's at risk. And then there are people out there who have been doing reading research for years, and they publish lists that they call cutoffs. So you would decide, how do we determine who's at risk, and that's going to result in something that we do something differently with them. I'll show you a couple of ways as the day progresses how people figure that out. All right.